Hello, welcome in, beautiful ones. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm here to just allow the divine to channel through me in whatever way they feel is appropriate. The universe knows much better than me what people need to hear. Thank you all so much for all your lovely donations and the beautiful energy you send my way. I hope you're having a lovely, well, I suppose we're in winter now, aren't we? I hope you're all tucked up nice and warm or enjoying yourself wherever you are. Okay, I'm going to allow Spirit to get into my vessel, into my auric field now, and we're gonna see what comes out. Archangel Michael, thank you for blessing and guiding this reading. To all beings in non-physical who move in love, I welcome you in to give me clear messages for whoever may need to hear this message. And I thank you in advance for your love and your guidance. So what's the message here, Spirit? What's the most important story we need to know about? Okay, we've got the Ten of Swords, all right, and I'm getting this energy of everything's not lost, although it can often feel like that when we come to the end of a 3D pathway, and that's what the Ten of Swords is all about. Starting my timer now, because I just forgot we're on 3 seconds, 4 seconds, okay. Justice energy affecting this Ten of Swords. So the thing is with Ten of Swords energies is that they can make us feel so much emotion, being human, having our vessel with all of its reactions, and you know, our animal nature wants to feel safe and loved. But what a Ten of Swords energy in your life really is, it's the end of a 3D pathway, and the ending was always inevitable, and the universe is simply showing you what the end of the pathway you chose to take resulted in alchemically, right? And that can sound quite unfeeling and quite harsh, but I'm speaking here from the perspective of the divine. So the reason we end up in Ten of Swords situations is because something about that situation wasn't etherealized. And it reminds me of the phrase, the snake eats its tail. What I'm getting through here from the divine is that it's so much better to be in a Ten of Swords situation and see the truth than it is to go round and round in karmic loops. And what they're showing me for this Ten of Swords is that you can kind of use it like a pogo stick, if you so choose, to jump up and etherealize yourself, because we can't get to a Ten of Swords situation if we're high vibrational. So it's a sign that something needs to shift in our alchemy. It's a sign in this case that a rebalance needs to take place. And I'm getting Libra energy here. So we will pull more cards, but I'm going to speak about what I'm getting initially with this Justice card and this Libran energy. What I'm getting is that maybe there was an imbalance in a personal relationship or in several dynamics involving your personal relationships. Maybe you were giving too much. Maybe one side of this scale was weighed down with what you were giving, and the other side was like floating light as a feather because they weren't offering you anything back. There's something about you getting the harmony sorted in your relationships by making people respect you, by accepting nothing less, and maybe by developing a self-image that is really you at your strongest, right? This is about sort of you realizing that only the higher self can lift you up and take you off of those pathways that will always result in a Ten of Swords. They kind of show me a Monopoly board. It just goes round and round and round, and sometimes we end up in jail, but we know the only way is up, right? And that's what I'm getting with this. This is your chance to start buzzing again, to get these wings buzzing with magic again. You know, I don't know why this is coming up, but this bumblebee lady on the card, something came up for me with bees, you know, recently, where everything they thought about gravity is disproven by the way bees actually have their own unique little bubble of energy. And it kind of, it's like a force field around the bee. And it lifts the bee up in a way that disproves their scientific theories, which are always a bit flat and reductive, you know, in my opinion. I feel like this is really your time to create your own force field and really do yourself justice by commanding more, either from the world or from the people around you. Only you can do this. The Ten of Swords was your sign that something was imbalanced in some sort of situation in your life. Okay. And that's your sign, right? From an occultistic perspective, the universe can only feed us back what it can feed us back. And it's got to be a match to what we were commanding or what we were lining up with. So I've had a lot of Ten of Swords moments. I've had a lot of, what's the other one? Can't remember. I've had a lot of those moments where I've had to dead end things, right? And I feel like this is a natural, normal part of life. It's redirection when we get a Ten of Swords energy hitting our timeline. But, you know, you could be feeling some kind of way here. Seven of Wands energy. So this is all about you developing a sovereign level of self-esteem and seeing yourself as a sovereign, immortal being with value. I'm hearing the phrase high ideals. Yeah, I feel like the ancestors are getting in on the Seven of Wands, being like, you've got to have high ideals. We see everything you do. We see when you allow someone to disrespect you. We see when you kowtow or you bend to someone else's will. We can see all of that is what your ancestors are saying here to somebody. Often we feel like every move we make is hidden, or the thoughts we think are hidden, but the non-physical sees everything here. And they're saying it's about time you thought more of yourself, stop letting people off with things. Something about letting the fear dissipate. Because someone's ancestors here are feeling your anxiety with something. And they're kind of like wanting you to create this force field around yourself. And this is your auric field they're talking about. They want you to charge up your auric field with a lot of some people may call it cockiness or overconfidence, but there's this need here for you to really fill up on those energies and go overboard for a little while. You know, people think there's just one right or wrong way to be, but each individual, only the individual can know what is right or wrong for them on their pathway. And right now, what is right for you is to big yourself up as much as you can, to lavish yourself in ways you probably never have before, to treat yourself like an absolute god or goddess. And I don't feel like your ancestors are going to accept anything less. Not after this one is what I'm getting, okay? They've been watching you, waiting for you to shift something up. And I feel like deep down you know what you're supposed to do. You know that there's been all these things appearing in your storyline, letting you know that you're headed for this Ten of Swords, right? Because nothing is too much of a surprise in this world. I feel like you know you should have been keeping your barriers higher or shifting the way you deal with people, but I'm getting that this is perfect timing. You having these thoughts before, and I know you've had thoughts about wanting to change things and transform things and maybe see a shift in your social life, right? And what you pull in socially, maybe in the dating arena, who knows? What I'm getting is all these thoughts and these energies have been slowly but surely joining you so you can get to this big crescendo of reforming yourself and seeing yourself through the eyes of Source, or through what people may call through God's eyes. It's about seeing yourself through God's eyes and being a sovereign, divine cherubim. Infinitely valuable, completely priceless, rare, one of a kind, and worthy of respect, love, devotion, and honorable encounters here, because justice does not mess around. Even if we want to let things go in our relationships, and trust me, I'm a Libra, I can easily harmonize. I've done all this stuff, you know. Even if we want to harmonize with people and we want to turn a blind eye and we want to ignore their behavior, there's no tricking the universe. The universe will always wrap the situation up and be like, no, this isn't good enough for you. You're getting a Ten of Swords. It's your escape. This is your moment to develop these sovereign ways of thinking, to develop a really good sense of self, good habits I'm getting. It's all about those daily rituals. You know, we incorporate a bit of meditation. We incorporate exercise. We incorporate maybe devotion to that which we worship, right? And they're saying just add in little habits. You don't have to change overnight. You don't have to make this big, huge transition because, you know, you want to keep the balance and the harmony. You want to take the path of least resistance here. But they're talking about incorporating habits in a beautiful way. A little of this, a little of that. Trying new healthy foods. Buying yourself some luxury bubble bath, for example. You know, you might want to buy yourself some new perfume or aftershave. They're saying you've got to incorporate new habits to raise that frequency and get yourself out of being in a pit of attracting these energies. They're being quite harsh on this one because they love you, they care about you. And they're saying this is the last Ten of Swords you're ever going to go through. because you're being told right now that you can etherealize, you can raise your frequency, you can form new habits and get yourself off of the frequency where these energies can even get anywhere near you. We've got the Knight of Wands here. Fiery and fearless. So you could have had an imbalance in some sort of relationship where you were maybe more harmonic and someone else had a really strong force of will. Like they just had to get what they wanted, or they're so used to getting what they wanted, or they've got really dominant placements in their birth chart. Like maybe if you've got an Aries sun in your first house, you're gonna be a lot of energy for someone who's perhaps, I don't know, a Cancer sun in their 5th house, for example. Totally different energies. And I feel like the way your consciousness mixed with this person, because when we meet someone and we bond with them, our consciousness and our auric fields literally mix together. It could have felt like someone's energy was just not even heavy, but just intense and hard to say no to. Maybe, you know, someone who they're just convincing, or their energy has this power, this really forceful power I'm getting off of this Knight of Wands energy, like kind of like their way or the highway, or they're just quite engulfing, quite overwhelming, right? We've got 9 of Swords with the 8 of Cups here. So as much as these seem like intense energies, this is all for the greater good with justice. This is some big major rebalancing. I'm getting that you're seeing yourself differently and commanding more from yourself. It's almost an energy of all those things that you think you can't be. Maybe you don't think you can be one of these people like the Knight of Wands who is forceful and really confident and really fearless and fiery. But what they're saying here is, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You've got a Mars in your birth chart. You've got Martian consciousness. You've got mad consciousness. You've got Plutonic consciousness, Pluto. You've got Saturn. You know, this is what we're made of. This is what you've got in you. And I feel like you're unearthing this now. And you're realizing you can be one of those people. And yes, you do deserve to feel like you are as valuable as any overconfident Knight of Wands, you know? And I feel like it's really time for a shake-up. It's time for a revamp. And it's time for you to start elevating yourself. Because we can't be staying in 9 of Swords, you know, 10 of Swords situations for very long. Here we go. There's that revamp. The Fool 2.0. This is a new version of you. And now it's time for you to connect with your ethereal storehold. Now it's time for you to connect with all of those beautiful energies waiting for you when you tweak your consciousness to a higher level, or when you meditate and you access your own personal apothecary of the soul, all the things you've brought in from multiple lifetimes, all of the value you hold, infinite value as an immortal being who's kind of, you know, you're on earth right now. And God knows why any of us chose to be here, right? We've all got unique stories, unique soul groups, unique missions, unique consciousness. We're all completely unique. And this is about you getting to know yourself and getting to know perhaps the higher version of yourself or a more shamanic version of yourself. But I can certainly see you branching off in new directions, taking different pathways, dipping your toe into new energies and really allowing yourself to explore and find out who you are, get to know you, what your pleasures are, what you're all about. This is going to be fun. I mean, that's such a beautiful Fool card. I feel like this is time for you to have fun because we've got all these energies on the table, right? And, you know, heavy 10 of Swords energies, 9 of Swords energies, that could feel like a dark night of the soul or some crazy scenario you're going through, but you're walking away from it with your head held high, giraffe energy, right? This is about you getting into the loot lounge of life, you choosing what story you're in by being what you want to be, by being who you really are, letting your true essence flow into the realm, because everyone has access to potent energy. And you could be potently gentle. You could be potently sweet. You don't have to be potently in your face like someone like, you know, Pluto and Scorpio in your first house is going to have a different energy compared to Pluto and Libra in your 7th house, for example. But this is all about getting to know you. And I really feel this energy from the divine in this reading that they really want you to get into what Cleo Ra calls the loot lounge. But you don't have to call it that. You can call it your own personal temple, the higher world that you come from, right? Your higher self is waiting for you to connect in new and beautiful ways, and the potency of one being the higher self of one being. You know how much energy we cannot bring into this vessel because our higher selves are so powerful. Funnily enough, I was thinking about spontaneous combustion the other day, and how if any of us had the full power of our higher self coming through into our vessel, we would combust, we would burst into flames. Who knows, maybe that's what happens when people burst into flames, right? And one of my lovely viewers wrote a comment saying about almost combusting in the shower, right? And that was like a mad synchronicity for me. Why it's coming up, I don't know, but we've got all this fire here. I feel like you need to maybe not be afraid of your fire, because we're getting a lot of fire coming through, I feel like, in the collective recently. And I feel like Spirit wants us to use the energy of the earth. Spirit wants us to access those energies within ourselves, harness them and direct them in the most beautiful ways. We're supposed to be potent. You know, Mars, Uranus, Neptune, these planets are no joke. And they represent us. They represent our internal world. They represent what we're made of. So as much as we project onto the planets, because they're symbolically arranged in the sky around us, they are really an outer reflection of our inner world. So we've got Hierophant energy here next to this Fool. The Divine is your best friend at the moment, okay? We do have a Page of Swords on the bottom right here at the moment. Someone may be anticipating you reaching out to them or something like that. But I'm hearing flip the script, change it up, get out while you still can, start this chapter while you can. The Divine is fully on your side. And, you know, sometimes they come through me quite strict because we're talking about Saturn. And, you know, I do consider Saturn to be like the Tywin Lannister of the planets. Then we've got Pluto. I mean, descriptions do not do Pluto justice as it sits at the top of the tree of life. Then we've got the Neptune. These are three planets that do not mess around, and they sit at the top of the tree of life. So any harsh lessons that come our way, we must honor the truth in those lessons, and therefore we honor the truth of our own being in this reality. And only when we really see clearly the truth can we truly free and liberate ourselves. And that's what I'm getting here with you, with this Hierophant energy. It's time for you to take the hand of your higher self. It's time for you to take the hand of your Divine. Set the highest standards for yourself. Be one of those people, right? Shift it up. You don't have to stay in the same mindset. You're a multi-dimensional being. You've been around for eons. You'll be around forever. And it's time for you to start having fun, making your own rules, okay? I'm getting it's time for you to make your own rules. And the Divine is fully on your side because they want to tune your soul, your consciousness, your being into alignment with universal law. So I feel like something was taking you off pathway. It has to end up in a Ten of Swords. Something has to feel bad, and you try and tell yourself, no, it's just my imagination. No, I'm just being paranoid. Meanwhile, your gut is screaming at you, this is wrong, this is wrong. That's a left-hand pathway. It's a 3D skewed pathway that we've taken from a positioning of making a decision that we weren't really clear on, but the Ten of Swords, or the result of a situation, tells us a lot of information. How were we feeling when we met that person? What was going on? You know, there's all these little alchemical things we can learn by scanning back to the decision we made and being honest with ourselves about what frequency what we were on when we made it will give you a lot of occult power when it comes to conjuring up something better in the future, right? But this is about getting you off of that 3D left-hand pathway that will always result in a Ten of Swords, because it's how our world is set up. When we're not etheric, when we're not loving ourselves enough, we will keep on getting that confirmation from the universe. Dead end, you didn't love yourself enough. Another dead end, you didn't love yourself enough. So it's time to put yourself at the top of the pyramid, and it's time to really know that the Divine see through your eyes 24/7. And I feel like they want to make someone self-conscious with that. Like, your ancestors know when you put up with someone's bullshit. You know what I mean? They know everything, you know? So not to make anyone overly self-conscious, but someone's ancestors are being like, listen, we know when you're not operating and honoring us, because when you honor your ancestors, you don't take no shit, because you know when people give you shit, they're giving your whole family shit. They're shitting on your parents, they're shitting on, excuse my French, but these people really don't want to see your bloodline prosper when they treat you like that, okay? It's a family affair. Whatever we go through on earth, we're outnumbered by ancestors. We're outnumbered by beings who want to see us thrive. And someone's ancestors are coming through with the slaps, like, come on. It's time for you to be who you truly are. Death energy with the star, okay? This is how your ancestors see you, and they're not giving up. And like I say, that's going to be the last 10 of swords for you, because you're going through this major upgrade in how you see yourself, what you expect from the world. They want you to really indulge with scripting, mood boards, affirmations, go overboard, they're saying. Really love yourself, really praise yourself. And they're saying retrain that subconscious mind. You're the best. You are the best. That's what they want you to feel like every day. That's what they want everyone on earth to feel like. A sovereign star being. So let's have a look. Show me more about the justice. Beautiful African grey parrot here. Emperor energy, see? This is about you holding the whole world in your consciousness. You being the whole world. You are an entire world. Your consciousness is so powerful, and you get to arrange your universe. But with the Emperor, you've got to look at who you were when you attracted this in and really get to the honest nitty gritty. Were you feeling insecure? Were you feeling like I just need a cuddle? Who knows what this situation represents with this ending 10 of swords? But they need you to be honest about what you were putting out frequency wise, so that you can walk away from that version of yourself and be more confident and be really in charge of what you're conjuring up here. We've got the Ankh on this card. Higher self connection. Only through the higher self connection do we get into the position of the Emperor. Male or female, the Emperor accepts that everything that comes into his reality, he's got to be a frequency match for. And it really annoys me when people say, so you're saying that if we're a match, you know, you say certain things and you're giving them occult wisdom and they get all funny. Oh, so you're saying it's someone's fault when they get abused as a child. I'm like, listen, kids deserve the most protection. And if something comes onto their timeline that is predatory, it's because they haven't got that energetic protection from their parents. And trust me, you're talking to an expert on this, so I don't know why that's coming out. But everything has to be a frequency match. People want to doubt you, innit? They want to go to the most extreme example they can think of. But the Emperor knows. Nothing can come that's not a match. And I feel like it's time for you to get into this power now, right? 5 of Wands, so they're saying, let this 10 of Swords give you your fight. You can sit around in worry, you can sit around in self-pity, you can choose how you react to this. And they want you to react with that fire. They want you to get in the mix of really respecting yourself, because that's what the Wands are all about. They're about passion, respect. Fire is no joke, it's so powerful. Most humans don't even get onto the first pathway of the tarot, which is the Wands. They don't really have much passion. They think you're crazy if you're passionate. They think you've got to be little factory installed drones. But this is about you really coming alive in your uniqueness and taking up space, carving out your own space, because people will always try and beat you down into a spot where you're controllable, you're amicable, you're not offending them with your confidence because it makes them feel bad. I'm getting, no, you've got to fight for your spot. 7 of Wands, you've got to fight for your sovereign spot. And if you've been attracted to my channel, there's got to be a reason for that, right? There's so many tarot channels out there. There's a reason why you're hearing this right now. This is the Magician. You need time and space. And you know, the funniest thing is, look at this crazy hand, right? I'm getting like the Hamza hand. You need to shut the world out and protect yourself here. The Magician knows when to tell everyone to get off the theater of his mind, right? It's about you taking over your mind again and creating with all the power of the Magician. If you can do this, you're more powerful than 99.9% of people. That's how rare it is for someone to be truly in the Magician's energy. Tarot isn't for the mainstream. Tarot is for the real creators of reality. It's no joke, right? I don't like the way tarot has been cheapened. I don't like the way people are taking my ancestors' Bible, essentially, and using it as some sort of gimmick on YouTube, giving false information about playing cards came before tarot. No, dum-dum. So tarot's no gimmick. What I'm saying here is, whoever's watching this video this long, you've got the opportunity to go inwards and separate yourself in some way and create a new you. This is important. It's about you blossoming. We've got a rose on this card. You've got the full protection from the divine to do this. They just want you to get lit up. They want you to get fired up. They want you to think the most of yourself here. Let's have a look at this Knight of Wands. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles here. So this person can feel like you've left them out in the cold or something like that, or maybe you feel left out from them. Who knows? There are energies of abandonment here. There are energies of unreliable, you know, unreliable people, and just not feeling fulfilled. 8 of Cups, walking away from that constant feeling of, oh, not this again, not this again, not this again. That's what I'm getting here with this 9 of Swords. You know, something that's hard to walk away from, but if you don't walk away from it, it ends up in a 10 of Swords, and it does you a favor. It's like, you know, it's for the best is what I'm getting here. I feel like now is the time for you to change. 5-5, it's a time for you to really decide. And, you know, it can be difficult. I'm feeling that grit in my stomach, like where it's so hard. You might really love somebody, or you might have been in a situation that felt comfortable, but the wheel keeps turning and it keeps showing you what it is over and over again. Knight of Swords energy. I feel like you're galloping out of this 9 of Swords quickly, right? We've got the Knight of Wands, which is a quick moving, fiery energy. And we've got the Knight of Swords, which is the fastest moving energy. And then we've got the 9 of Swords again. So it's almost like you slaying a mindset that keeps leaving you in this position. You're slaying it. You're going into magician mode. You're finding power in the fire, power in the devotion with the cups energy. You're finding power in honor with the swords, knowing what to cut off, knowing what is worthy of protection, but what also needs to be destroyed. Swords do destroy things also, right? So it's like taking one sword of truth, who you truly are, the value you truly hold, and cutting through all of these horrible 9 swords. Yeah, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior energy. But this is like the backstage energy with this black and white version, because there are 2 in this deck. And this is you feeling drained. This is you feeling defensive and needing to put up walls and create a beautiful new life. And we see that with the Star and the Fool and the Hierophant and Death energy. Show me the Fool, please. Hanged Man, total shift. Total submission to the divine and a total shift in consciousness. All right, going with the flow while things may feel different and new and maybe a bit uncomfortable. You could be feeling quite raw, but it will change. This too shall pass. Every time you sleep, your mind is arranging things. The backstage is arranging things. There's something about nurturing yourself, getting yourself regulated in your nervous system and getting ready for new things, exciting things, new perspectives, knowing you've got the Hierophant all over you here. We've got the 3 of Swords down here. So I really do feel like your ancestors have stepped in a major, major way to help you deal with this ending, perhaps. You know, this feeling of betrayal or, oh God, dejectedness. It's time for that to change now. Okay, and we've got this one here. Look how she's got this lighter. Her heart's lighting up. This heartbreak or this pain is going to etherealize this one. It's going to connect this one to the divine far more powerfully. We've got the Hermit coming out on top of that. Time to go inwards, time to connect, time to get into your own personal heavenly temple. That's where all the loot is. That's where all the juju is. That's where all the star power is. When you connect to non-physical and you get all devoted and you know, clear out your energy field and spend time with you and spirit and no one else, right? Ace of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Here we go, baby. This is your new pathway and this is powerful and it's gonna happen. Let's get you on board, fired up, okay? I feel like I've said all I need to say here. Yeah, we've got Star energy with the Hermit underneath again and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like it's a totally new slate for you, a totally new way of thinking and being and living. And I feel like you need to embrace this. It's so beautiful. I hope this reading's helped somebody. 2727 on my clock. If that number means anything to you, I'm going to say goodbye and love you loads. Mwah.